Today on Inquirer, Department of Foreign Affairs says Timor-Leste has rejected suspended Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr.'s application for political asylum. Southeast Asian leaders open 42nd Asean Summit in Indonesia. President Bongbong Marcos to reiterate pardon request for Mary Jane Veloso. At least 50 Filipinos remain in strife-torn Sudan, almost 500 already repatriated. And Senator Nancy Binay raises concerns over a Philippine advertisement in London featuring a Filipino nurse. Good evening. Timor-Leste denies the application of suspended Negros Oriental Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. for political asylum, according to the Department of Foreign Affairs. Beatriz Pinlac has the report.
The whereabouts of suspended Negros Oriental Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. has been a lingering question over the past few months. Teves' refusal to come home after his authority to travel lapsed on March 9 has given rise to a string of speculations about the congressman's location. Teves, tagged as a mastermind in the brazen assassination of Negros Oriental Governor Roel Degamo and 10 others, sought political asylum in Timor-Leste, according to Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla. But the Department of Foreign Affairs said the Philippine Embassy in Timor-Leste has since confirmed that Teves' asylum bid was rejected. Although he can still appeal the decision, Teves is given 5 days to leave the Southeast Asian nation. Meanwhile, Senator Ronald Dela Rosa believes Teves has no intention of coming home to face the accusations against him. Dela Rosa currently heads the Senate panel probing the spate of political attacks in the country, including the killing of Degamo. He said Teves, like other people in similar circumstances, may be waiting to surface only after the current administration. According to the senator, Teves' request could have been denied because of his failure to justify his application. This is Beatriz Pinlac reporting for INQUIRER.net.
President Bongbong Marcos joins other Southeast Asian leaders in the opening of the 42nd Summit of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations in Indonesia. To give us an update, here's Chona Yu reporting live from Indonesia. Chona?
Neil, Southeast Asian leaders, including President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., opened the 42nd ASEAN Summit here in Labuan Bajo in Indonesia. During the opening of the ASEAN 2023 plenary session, Marcos raised his concerns over the aging population in the Southeast Asian region, saying this must be addressed. Citing the Asian Development Bank, he said 1 out of 4 people in the Asia Pacific will be over the age of 60 by 2050. According to the president, this should be viewed as an opportunity and as a challenge, saying that ASEAN goals and work plans should ensure health for our elders and a safe, dignified, and productive life. Marcos also called on ASEAN to focus on upholding international law and the international rules-based system and committing to the principles of free trade and to the multilateral trading system. He said, upholding international law and the rules-based system has underpinned the peace, security, stability, and prosperity of the region. He welcomed Indonesia's ASEAN chairmanship priority of strengthening regional cooperation to address cross-border crimes, particularly trafficking in persons. In terms of trade and commerce, the president announced the Philippines has deposited its instrument of ratification for the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. Today, the president has bilateral meetings with the prime ministers of Lao People's Democratic Republic and Vietnam. As for tomorrow, the president will have a bilateral meeting with Timor-Leste's Prime Minister, Taor Matan Ruak. The ASEAN leaders are expected to decide on the bid of Timor-Leste to be part of the regional bloc. Marcos is here in Indonesia until Thursday for the summit. Neil.
Chona, one of the pressing issues right now in the region is the issue between China and Taiwan. So, will the issue between China and Taiwan be discussed by the ASEAN leaders? I'm asking this because this might be an issue that might affect the region should the tension between the two countries escalate.
Neil, the president said last night that this matter is inevitable and unavoidable since all member states consider the issue a grave concern.
So, Chona, what is the ASEAN leaders eyeing to, what are they eyeing to accomplish when it comes to the issue of the South China Sea, most of which is being claimed right now by China?
Here, President Marcos said he would urge his fellow Southeast Asian leaders to find a way to push for the finalization of Code of Conduct in the South China Sea to ease tension in the contested waters. The president said having a binding COC will make things clearer and reduce the possibility of miscalculations, hoping the regional bloc would be able to address the issues hindering the conclusions of negotiations, which is a key element in the ASEAN centrality. Neil.
Thanks, Shona. We'll wait for developments, particularly on this issue. Maybe ASEAN leaders will have a more concrete action in response to this issue. That's Chona Yu reporting live. President Bongbong Marcos says he will continue to ask for a commutation or even a pardon for Mary Jane Veloso, who is convicted of drug smuggling and condemned to death row. Marcos issued a statement in Indonesia, where the 42nd Summit of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations is currently held. When asked if he would raise Veloso's case if he meets with Indonesian President Joko Widodo, the president said,
The impasse is that we continue to ask for a commutation or even a pardon or just an extradition back to the Philippines. And that is constantly there. But the Indonesians answer us, and it's that this is the law.
In September 2022, the Department of Foreign Affairs sought executive clemency for Veloso. In 2010, Veloso was convicted of drug trafficking after she was caught with 2.6 kilos of heroin in Yogyakarta in Indonesia. She was meted out to the death penalty in 2010.
They have already given us postponement of the but that doesn't mean it's done. Well, I always at least bring it up na baka sakali magbago.
The Department of Foreign Affairs says at least 50 Filipinos are still in Sudan amid ongoing conflict there. In a public briefing, Foreign Affairs Assistant Secretary Paul Cortes says around 50 to 60 Filipinos remain in Sudan with their employers and spouses. Cortes says the agency will coordinate with their employers and assure the Filipinos' security once they leave.
Siguro natatakot yung employer na pag pinakawalan, baka kung anong mangyari sa kanila. But we will assure, syempre, itong mga employer natin na pag umalis na sila sa poder ng kanilang mga employer, cargo na po ng Philippine government, ng ating honorary consulate at ng embahada sa Cairo, ang security at ang safety ng mga kababayan natin.
Meanwhile, the DFA official reports that almost 500 Filipinos from Sudan have been repatriated so far, 95 of which arrived on Tuesday night. According to Cortes, more Filipinos are expected to return to the Philippines from Wednesday to Friday. Cortes says with the help of the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration and the Department of Migrant Workers, repatriated Filipinos are provided with financial aid.
Para naman sa mga overseas Filipinos, andyan po ang OWA na nagbigay din ng ayuda para sa mga kababayan natin para tulungan sila pagdating nila dito. Of course, pagdating dito, wala silang mga trabaho. Iniwan nila yung kanilang mga ari-arian at mga trabaho sa Sudan. Kung kaya dito baka magsisimula ulit from scratch at nagbigay po ang OWA at ang DMW para sa kanila.
Next on Inquirer Today, Senator Nancy Binay raises concerns over a Philippine advertisement in London featuring a Filipino nurse. And DOLE says 9 wage hike petitions still being processed. This is Inquirer Today. We'll be back shortly.
In a sari-sari store in Cebu City, a test paper is all you need to grab a snack. But not just any test paper could pass. A perfect score is required.
Ako po si Libby Gedoria, 56 years old, isang vendor.
Nanay Livy isn't just a mother at home, but also to the rest of her Suki students who frequent her store.
Makita ko na yung sa mga bata mamba nga na grabe ang ano nila sa akin, yung mga greetings nila every morning, na pagdating ko lang, good morning, Nay. Yeah. Mag-response naman ako, okay, karang mag-aral kayo ng mabuti ha, mag-ano kayo sa teacher nyo, lesson kayo sa lesson ninyo. So naisip ko, ano kaya kung gumimik ako kasi napalapit na sila sa akin. Ina-motivate ko naman sila araw-araw na mag-aral. Naisipan ko na first nga makadala ng test paper for perfect score, bigyan ko ng snack. Pag-exam nila nung 19 and 20, sinabihan na kami ng karatula. Pag 24, nag-checking sila ma'am. Sa takbuhan naman yung mga bata na nagdala-dala ng kanilang mga test paper na nakakuha ng perfect scores. Yung isang test paper, magpili lang sila. Kung turon lang yung ang sa kanya, makuha niya. Kung mag-ano siya ng juice, meron siyang kasamang nudlan or pulot. Hindi ko naman iniisip yung malugi ako ma'am kasi yung makatulong tayo sa kapwa. Magpasalamatan naman yun sa iba kung makatulong tayo sa kanila. Minsan merong magsabi na, nanay, pautang naman, bukas ko na lang bayaran. Wag mo akong bayaran. Harapin mo na lang ako kung magiging abogado ka na o magiging doktor ka na. Ibayad mong 5 peso mo sa akin kung maabogado ka na.
Nanay Livy's act of kindness has captured the hearts of people online.
Yung content lang po talaga ng post ko is appreciation po for my mama. Kasi po, na-admire ko po talaga yung ginawa niya for students. Kasi as an education and aspiring teacher, talagang effective po siya for students. Sabi ko na si mama hindi siya teacher pero nagagawa niya yon. So posible pala na kahit hindi ka teacher, mamomotivate mo yung anak mo na estudyante, mamomotivate mo yung mga estudyante na kahit hindi mo anak.
After Giselle's post went viral, Nanay Livy has a new challenge to the students in her area.
Sa ngayon, ma'am, may tumutulong naman sa amin kay Tunte. May dumating naman na tulong. So, may plano kami na mamigay na naman kasi distribution of cards and awardings of honor students. So, from 20, yung may challenge yung 20 ma'am, 20 students na perfect score. Pero ngayon, ito yung mga rewards sa mga honors. So, magbigay kami ng 250 na honor students. Yun lang ang makaya sa budget ma'am.
Senate Tourism Panel Chair Nancy Binay raises concerns about the messaging of a new advertisement promoting the Philippines in London. Binay says she is bothered by an advertisement seen plastered on a London bus featuring Filipino nurse May Parsons. The senator hails the effort to boost the Philippines' image in the global market, but she says the advertisement might be sending a vague message. She asks if it was meant to encourage tourists to visit the country, attract more foreign investments, or persuade hospitals abroad to hire Filipino nurses. Binay says the ad's messaging is bothersome while noting the shortage of health workers in the Philippines. While she recognized that the results of such an ad have yet to be seen, Binay points out that its messaging is already not aligned with the country's goals for tourism. The senator had previously called to defer the bid to rebrand the tourism slogan of the Philippines, as she argued that the move could be costly. The Department of Labor and Employment says a total of 9 wage increase petitions filed between December 2022 and April 2023 in 4 regions are still being processed under their respective regional tripartite wages and productivity boards. In a Senate hearing on wage hikes, DOLE Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma says the petitions are still being processed by the different regional boards where they were filed. 2 petitions were filed in Metro Manila, 2 in Calabarzon, 2 in Western Visayas, and 3 in Central Visayas. All petitions were filed by unions and workers' organizations, according to the Labor Department. As of Wednesday, the petitions are still awaiting the regional board's assessment of the economic conditions in the region as it continues consultations with DOLE, the National Economic and Development Authority, Department of Trade and Industry, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and the Department of Agriculture. DOLE also said workers behind both Calabarzon petitions have yet to amend their documents to include capacity to pay, most recent fare hike, comparative analysis on the living wage, and the requested increase. Petitioners from Central Visayas expect wage board consultations with the DA and the Land Transportation, Franchising, and Regulatory Board to continue on May 15, while those from Western Visayas await regional board deliberations on May 16. NBA's most valuable player, Joel Embiid, leads the Philadelphia 76ers in their 115-103 victory over the Boston Celtics in their best-of-7 Eastern Conference playoff duel. The result gives the Sixers a 3-2 series lead, meaning they can advance to the conference finals with a win in Game 6 on home court in Philadelphia on Thursday. Embiid scored 33 points and 7 rebounds. Tyrese Maxey tormented the Celtics with 30 points, including 6 three-pointers, while point guard James Harden finished with 17 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds. Although the Celtics closed the deficit to 9 points at halftime, they were unable to apply sustained pressure. Boston's scoring was led by a 36-point display from Jason Tatum, while Jaylen Brown finished with 24 points. Alamin naman natin ang mainit na balita sa mundo ng showbiz kasama si Irvin Santiago ng Bandera. Irvin?
Hi Neil at sa lahat ng mga kabandera natin all over the universe. Ito na nga ang latest Bandera Chika. Kung game na game sa pagsagot, si Elise Hoson tungkol sa estado ng relasyon nila ngayon ni Makoy De Leon, pigil na pigil naman ang kapamilya aktor sa pagsasalita. Ayon sa Celebrity Daddy, hanggat maaari ay ayaw niya munang idetalye sa madlang people kung ano na ang nangyayari sa relasyon nila ni Elise para iwas chismis at intriga na rin daw. Basta ang masasabi lang niya ngayon ay okay na uli sila at nakatutok sila pareho sa pag-aalaga sa kanilang anak na si Feliz. Sabi ni Makoy, marami siyang na-realize matapos silang dumaan ni Elise sa mga pagsubok at mas gusto niyang manahimik muna ngayon tungkol sa kanyang personal life. Tungkol naman sa pagpapasexy ni Elise sa mga bago nitong proyekto, wala raw itong isyo kay Makoy at napag-usapan naman daw nila ang desisyon ng aktres about her career. Nang matanong naman kung payag din ba siyang magpasexy sa mga susunod niyang TV and movie projects, pwede naman daw kung talagang maganda ang material at kung kailangan sa eksena.
Napag-usapan ba ninyo?
Maluwag naman sa akin, hindi naman klaseng ayoko ganyan. Sana naman siya, nasa point naman siya na kung anong choices.
Ikaw ba, willing ka rin magpa-sexy?
Yun nga, may ginawa na ako kakaiba doon sa Batang Quiapo, pero yun nga, siguro nasa storya. Yung kaayon-ayon sa storya talaga, yung importante naman po sa akin. Hindi yung, bigla na lang nagubad.
Makoy, kamusta na kayo ni Elise? Sa mga pinagdaanan nyo yun? Mas tumibay lalo?
Sa amin po siguro, pinapanatili ko muna siguro private muna, private.
At yan ang Bandera Chika natin today. Thanks, Neil.
Maraming salamat, Irvin. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.